one of the new gifts for my video, and I can't even get it out of the box. It's huge, it's heavy, and you'll have to see what it is later on.
Hi everyone. So for those who don't know me, I'm Emma and I'm the artist behind Unsteady Art. So last week I introduced the thermal binder to you. Now there is a little bit of an issue that we had with the booklet. The notepad is still doing absolutely fine, so there's no issues on that. But that was close. When it comes to the book, it adhered very, very well to the back, but not the front. So if you can see it, there's like modules across there. That is where it adhered to the pages, but not the actual rest of it. Didn't help that I did drop it when it was drying, but it still shouldn't have done that. So I've took all of the edges off, so at least it's now completely flat, because that has actually done about 2 millimeters worth. The backing, obviously not going to be able to do anything with them, but luckily I printed off another set anyway. So let's get back to it. Hello again everyone. So this is now cooled down. Oh, what am I doing that for? So hopefully this time round it's got to a cleaner edge, because I've just used a whole piece rather than bits. So it is opening quite well. Pages are staying still-ish. So after that colossal pages falling out, finally managed to do it, and I've realised why. So now I have got it. Look, no pages. So the difference was I needed to heat the glue enough that it melted. Because I use so many thick papers, so the surrounding one was actually 300 GSM. All of the insert pages are 125. So what I did is, instead of going by how much it said for the actual distance, I've done it so it was how many pages, but it still didn't generally do it. So I ended up doing it where it was the full amount of time, which 212 seconds on one side, and then turned it round and did it on other, because I did see as well that it kind of pulled at one side when it was starting to melt. So by doing that I kind of got a bit more of an even spread. Once we did that, patted it fully down and then clipped it back together. So that's how I did that one. And yeah, see you in a bit. Just a bit of an intermission. If you do like this so far, please like, subscribe, comment. Love to hear what you're saying. Now, back to the video. Hi everyone. So I am in the process of editing next week's video, but I've had all the stuff that I wanted delivering. So I'm going to do a boxing while the house is nice and quiet. So I did hint before, but it is now actually here. So we've got the We Are Memory Keepers cinch. So this is a 2 to 1 inch wire bound bookmaker. Now there is a reason why I chose the 2.1 rather than the 3.1, and that's because I can put more pages in it, or in my case I can put a little less pages and I can actually put more stuff on the pages. So this is just in case I want to make for journaling and, you know, something that's needs thicker paper or more to be able to have space for applique pieces, little decorations, that sort of thing. So that's the idea from that one. The other bit is this big thing here. So this is a heavy duty paper cutter. So when I was making the thermal binding books yesterday, wasn't yesterday, on the last video while I was making the thermal binders, the one thing that we did notice is I couldn't seem to get them straight. When it comes to A6, it's an A4 sheet cut twice. So the idea is instead of having to cut them out every couple of pages, this will be one swift movement, which means that everything will be straight, hopefully. And it makes my life a bit easier because I struggle sometimes to keep doing the repetitive things, and it just makes life so much easier. So let's unbox them and I can show you what they do then. So we have instruction manual first. Always polystyrene. Right, I'm going to drop it down a bit. And that's the cinch. Take that off. So another thing that I did like when it comes to these is you can actually pull out, so the ones that you don't want you can take out. Some of the other ones that I was looking at the same make as my thermal printer, thermal binding. I will get used to these. The issue that I had is some of them you couldn't poke out, but then they ended up being the 3 to 1 ratio for their pins, not the 2.1. And the one that did do 2.1 was 300 odd quid. I've nearly managed to do all of those for the same price as that one. So you can move it out so it supports different printers. You've got your side where you put your metal binding and obviously use that for cutting. Then you turn it round and this bit then becomes it squashes the binding together. So that's the cinch. When I'm using it, I will show you. Right, so I think I've got it down pat. So this bit here, so this is actually where the tools live as well. And that apparently also changes the blade. So I've researched an A5 size because it's the only thing that doesn't actually have a point and reference. It's got A4, but then it goes to B6, B7, B6 and B5. Not 100% sure why that generally is, but it is what it is. So I'm purposely going to test this with a piece of paper. So I'm going to do as much of a good job to actually half this. There. Just to get a bit of an idea of basically where it's heading. That'll do better. And hopefully, when I shut this down, it will cut where it's supposed to. So I thread through the back. If you lift that up, that moves it left and right. This bit here goes and secures the pages. That is the safety pin, and the blade hand, the blade goes at this side. So I'm just going to push that down. It is a little bit overkill for one piece of paper, but I'd rather do it as one piece of paper than anything else. So that hand goes there, that hand goes down, and that should be it. So let me unwind that, get it back out. Wow, that is definitely half. For first go, that's not too bad. So if that's the case, then raise that up. So I'll be cutting these into A6, so these technically will be done twice. I'm also going to put that in as well, just in case it's a bit smaller. Highly doubt it is, but it's going to be there nonetheless. Right, fingers crossed, guys. As easy as that. Wow. Not gonna lie, I'm loving this. I did actually cut a very, very small slither of the board as well. So yeah.
So here I'm just making the cover for the hardback wire-bound booklet. This is so I can actually get a front and a back. Is it going to be the final design? I have no idea, but I need something just to try it. So I'll let you watch.
Hey again everyone. So, my first notebook, or wire-bound notebook. I think for my first try, it's come out absolutely fantastic. So I'm absolutely ecstatic about that one. Is there some changes I've made? Of course I will. It's my first one. So I'd need a couple of mil either side on the back and the front cover, and probably about 5 on the side. Because of the curve of the actual spine, it sends the paper forward, which is how it's meant to be. So I need to compensate that for that, so the covers actually cover the inside pages. Would I change the design? Possible. Don't know yet. And is there anything else that I'd generally change? Not really at the moment. Well, there might be one thing. I might go a couple of mil bigger when it comes to the spine, or reduce it down on there just to see if it gives me that little bit more room. But not the end of the world, it still works. So I'm going to leave it here. So I'm going to leave it for this week. If you did like this, please like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. And I will see you next week. Bye.